welcome once again. Let's learn together. Let's ask all those questions that we have about Metis, about the fellowship and the application process. We're here for you, and we are ready to help you click, the submit button. I know most of you have been clicking, and you want more information to be able to click that submit. So today is the day that we do that. So welcome once again. Yes, karibuni sana. And today we have 3 objectives. We'll be successful if 1, we learn more about the Metis Fellowship experience. We have our amazing alumni here who will be sharing their own experiences from the fellowship. 2, we'll get to hear straight from the alumni. So the experience is both tied to hearing from them and also from our team. And thirdly, we get to ask questions about the fellowship and the application process. I know some of you submitted some questions, but also you'll have an opportunity here to ask your questions live or through the chat or to actually come off mute. So we're going to spend the first half of the session hearing from the fellowship alumni. They'll have a chance to share their experiences so that we can get a grasp of what it actually means to be a Metis Fellow. And then we'll spend the second half of this session answering your questions and helping you, through the process of the application. So some norms for this session. 1, unless you're talking, please make sure you're on mute until it's your turn to speak. Secondly, introduce yourself in the chat. It's amazing. I see people already doing that. So if you've not done that yet, please do that. And finally, ask questions, right? The topic of this event is Q&A, right? So it's a question and answer session. So please be sure to ask questions and you'll be able to get the support that you need. Okay, awesome. Before I continue, I would like to, I think you can see we have renamed ourselves, our team from Metis. I would like all of you to wave, put your video on if you can, and wave to everyone. Yes, that's our amazing team. We have Rebecca, our ED. We have Alice, our ops manager. We have Julie, our community catalyst in charge of fellowship. We have Tracy, our communications officer. We have Nashipai, our social media intern. And finally, who have I forgotten? Rose, our Zoom master today, who is also our community catalyst in charge of events. Awesome, so that's the team. And of course, we have our, let me call them our hosts, because they're helping me host this event. We have Olive. So Olive, for you, I'll give a chance to just introduce yourself before we actually get started. You're mute, Olive. Oh.
Okay, good evening, everyone. My name is Olive. I work at KICD. I'm a curriculum specialist. I've done that for many, many years. And I've loved being a Metis Fellow. Thank you.
Awesome. Then we have Rukia. Which cohort were you in, by the way? I think it's important to share that.
Oh, sorry. Cohort 5.
Awesome. Cohort 5. I graduated a few months ago. Then we have Rukia.
Hi, everyone. Good to have you here. So my name is Rukia Sebit. I am the co-founder of Sunflower Trust and currently the executive director. So we deal with literacy and leadership and improving quality of education. And I was in cohort 2. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Rukia. And finally, we have Ken.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. This is Kenneth Monjero, the CEO of Fun and Education Global Network, a Metis Fellow, cohort 4, and a very happy person to be here today. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Ken. And also Julie and Rose are actually part of our alumni also who are now supporting us with the program. Julie was in cohort 3 and Rose was in cohort 2. Awesome. Thank you, everyone. And now as we continue, I would like to tell you a little bit about Metis. I know you've done your research. I know you've gone through our website, but let me share a little bit about Metis as we get started. So Metis envisions a world in which all people have the skills and the community they need to thrive. That is our vision, okay? We want to see a world, or we want to create a world where all people have the knowledge, have the skills, have the community that they need to flourish and thrive. Our mission is to transform education through local leadership and innovation. And as we go through this session, you'll get to see why it's very important and why we emphasize local leadership and contextualized solutions that truly solve for the root causes and not just symptoms that we experience in education today. We equip, we connect, and we amplify proximate leaders, creating contextualized solutions for a world where all others thrive. And one of the ways that we actually do this is through the fellowship program, which is what we'll be learning more about today. And you get to hear how we equip, how we connect, and how we amplify leaders to create, or we're creating contextualized solutions for a world where all learners thrive. That I would like to share about Metis for now. Yeah, today you get to hear more from our alumni. I think they have like even better perspectives to share about the program, about our fellowship program, which is one of the ways that we connect and amplify. So to get us started, as I said, we are going to spend this first half hearing from alumni, and then the second half answering your questions. We've already introduced, we've met our amazing alumni. So my first question to them actually is, I always ask this one first. I'd like to ask, like, what are some of your favorite memories from the fellowship? You know, what do you remember? I know we have Rukia. It was how many years now ago? She was in cohort 2. So let's see. Yeah, but I'm sure she still has some good memories from the fellowship. So Rukia, would you like to actually go first? One or two favorite memories, yeah, from the fellowship.
During my fellowship, the two memorable things that happened, one is, you know, the visits we had every month, like we visited different programs, and you know, from schools to organizations, but different institutions that actually deal with education. That was really an eye-opener because I really learned from that, because at that point, my organization was still starting off. So, you know, just learning by seeing what other people are doing. You know, we had those sessions in those institutions the whole day. So that is one of my memorable moments. The other one was the mentorship program. Because during the fellowship, you're connected, you're linked to a mentor. And for me, that was also quite very valuable, because having someone to walk with you through your journey, of course, the idea is yours, but having an expert actually walking with you through that whole phase, you know, is just a plus. And because it never ended there, for me, I'm still in touch with my mentors. I still, you know, they know what is happening with Sunflower. I update them. You know, when I am stranded once in a while, actually we've become friends. We've become friends who are actually implementing in different areas. So mentorship and actually learning from others by just visiting their site, the different institutions are the two take homes for me. Thank you.
Oh, nice. Awesome. Thank you for sharing, Rukia. Ken or Dr. Fan, actually today I'll refer to you as Dr. Fan. What are some of your, or what are two of your favorite memories from the fellowship? You're on mute. Dr. Awesome.
Yeah, thank you so much. Other than saying everything, let me just highlight a few, but I really second my colleague, fellow. Indeed, are you getting me? Sorry.
Yeah, I think your internet is buffering a little bit.
Yeah, so Yeah, so what I would say, mentorship was very key, but let me go deeper into mentorship. Ability to listen. That was really great. To meet people who are really in professional world, who have known or gone through the whole process of startups and all that, and then they are able to listen to you and help you shape the idea into the product that you are looking for, or outcome. That was very key. Number two is friendship or teamwork, because the two run hand in hand. So Metis staff are just so amazing. And number two, the people or the professionals who come on board are just so amazing. And I would really say it's indeed a real community to shape someone's mind, and of course to walk along, because some of us maybe were born and got complex of just running ideas on ourselves and we can't make it. So Metis really gave me an opportunity to really see that, wow, so to shape up a business or an idea needs that kind of brotherly and sisterly love and the conducive environment to really get to what you need to get to. And of course, the other thing is the retreat. Wow. The retreat was so amazing. I really wished that it was prolonged. Not that I'm demanding that it be prolonged for the new group, but really the retreat made it like super, super conducive environment, teamwork, and more so really bonding with each other. And of course, the meals. Okay, not that I love eating, but the meals were quite amazing. The final thing that I would say before I'm cut short because of time, the process. Metis process gives you, like, you know, it's like a building. You are building from one step to another, and to the prototype. That was really, really amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ken. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with, you know, enjoying a good meal, right? We all need nourishment to be able to do the work that we do. So absolutely nothing wrong with that. Thank you for sharing that. Olive?
You can hear me? I would just like to say, just like Dr. Fan has said, everything was absolutely beautiful. But of course, I'm here to share about my two memorable ones. And having been a teacher, actually I started as a teacher trainer for many years, then left teaching and went to an office to sit and design a curriculum. And of course, you know, a curriculum is supposed to meet the needs of the country. So you can't sit in an office and expect to know the needs of the people out there in the country. So one of the memorable, I think throughout the fellowship was the networking with all types of people. And of course, it was very, very nice to hear people who are starting small projects in the community, what challenges they are going through, what lessons they have learned, because that fed in what I'm supposed to do when I'm designing curriculum. I'm supposed to be addressing some of those problems. And so we shared. So that networking was very, very beautiful. You know, many people from different sectors doing different things. And it's really, I really enjoyed the moments when we were talking and they were telling me, I remember one of my bosses when I was a younger working person told me, if you cannot design a curriculum by sitting in the office, you have to get out there. People will critique that curriculum indirectly. And I think that's what I got. People are telling us what is wrong with the curriculum. It's not addressing this during those networkings. So I felt very, 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 very happy to be able to listen to people who are doing things and they are overcoming the challenges that they have and they even have solutions. So that was one. The second one was, of course, the retreat. Who can never forget the retreat? You know, I think I happen to be one of the older persons in that retreat. But let me tell you, I never felt a day older than anyone in that retreat. I felt I belonged. I felt as young as the youngest. Okay, and we shared even personal stories. We made friends, and of course, those friendships have continued, and I've been listening and sharing with some of them. So that I can say is what those are my two memorable moments during the fellowship. Because everything else, let me say, was. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, I remember you saying that, I think it was the third day or the second day of the retreat. And you are telling us, yes, I don't feel a day older. In fact, I feel like I've grown a bit young. So I'm so happy to hear you still feel that way. Even now. Yeah, thank you all for sharing some of your favorite memories with us and our attendees, of course, in this session today. So before you actually got to the retreat, or as you were applying, right, everyone was asked to state their bold idea, right? Something that, of course, during the retreat, we got through the process of refining that and making it more concise and, really getting to understand the challenge that you care about. So I would like each one of you to share what your bold idea was, or the bold idea that you came to the fellowship with. Let's see. Dr. Fan, would you like to go first now?
Thank you so much. So I was really looking at especially the schools area. I used to work in research, but then after having gone for further training, I wanted to see how can we change the world by engaging learners in primary school. So my bold question was, what if learners were given ability to design solutions to problems that they face? So they by themselves coming up with these solutions and developing prototypes and really getting to know how to do that and to learn kind of the skills alongside the collaboration and all that and design thinking approach.
Awesome. Thank you, Dr. Fan. And you see, let me let others share, because it actually starts with what if, right? So that is very intentional why we state it as such. And yeah, maybe at the end of this we'll share why it's a what if. Olive.
Do you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, my bold question was, what if all learners had access to mental health education? Let me say I refined this and with a lot of help from colleagues and even from you, Neftari, and the team. You really helped me to polish that bold question. But of course, I was clear when I was coming, I wanted to do something about mental health, because I've been championing for health and nutrition in the curriculum for a long time. And of course, most of the issues we have dealt with are about the physical health, the illnesses, the communicable diseases and things. But COVID brought on board something else. It brought, we had to think about these children and their mental health as they sit home when they are not in classes or wherever they are. How are they feeling? Then, compounded with the COVID, I was starting to experience the fact that some of these children, they don't perform poorly because either they are stupid, they don't have the brains, but because they come with a lot of baggage to the classroom. And many of us as teachers never seem to want to understand why, those baggage. And of course, if I come to a class and I have stress about where I'm coming from, either I was insulted by either the house help, or my mother has issues, or my father has issues, then that will impact what I do in class. So some children, I got to feel that some children were not performing, not because they were stupid, but we were not dealing with their mental well-being. So I felt that's what I needed to pursue, to see how can we solve those issues of mental well-being. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Such a bold question, truly. And we'll get to hear about the impact and what she's been able to do with that a bit later. So yeah, stay tuned. Rukia.
Thank you, Naftali. So, you know, I actually joined Metis Fellowship around the time that we founded Sunflower. So, you know, we were looking at literacy, how to improve literacy levels, and also have, especially girls between the ages of 10 to 15 years, be able to read to their grade levels. And then there's this group of girls whom we actually call them the unreachable, because one, they come from the informal settlements, that is urban informal settlements. So coming from any urban setup, people think that you have, you know, you have all the opportunities at your hand. Then number two, they actually are low performing in school. You know, everyone looks at the top 5. So who is actually going to work with the low performers in any class? So for us, we were looking at how can we improve the quality of learning among the targeted learners. And actually that is what really pushed me to come up with a bold question of what if we support schools to invest in girls' education and leadership through after-school programming, just to define what Sunflower does and what we will actually be doing. And maybe later I will also share how this has gone a long way and impacted so many girls within the urban informal settlements. Thank you.
Thank you, Kia. Thank you, everyone, for sharing. So I think you're noticing there's a theme here. So the bold question, it's as the name suggests, it's truly a bold question, right? It's something huge, right? That actually I think people have built, as Rukia said, even organizations along the bold questions, right? Because it's a huge and substantial challenge. Can sound a bit scary. We've had even from Olive here, even from a curriculum or national level. You know, it's something huge, right? But you get now to actually get started, and you know, through the fellowship, you work, you know, you develop a solution for your bold idea. You know, put everything that you need in place to actually make it a reality. So that's not just aspirational, but really something you are actually making happen. And as I said, we'll get to hear how you know, be able to develop solutions or answers to those bold questions that they have actually shared. And every one of you, if you've had a chance to look through, you know, the application questions, there's of course a question on the bold. You know, what's your bold idea, right? What type of, you know, what problem would you actually like to solve? And you know, we would like, you know, to see you be able to state that. Of course, it might not be like 100% refined, but you know, you get to go through the process and refine it and, you know, make it clearer. You know, that's one of the things we actually do during the retreat. You get to get a lot of feedback from other innovators also, and get to a point where you actually have a very clearly defined bold question now that, you know, I'm ready to go and put it to work, not only for the 6 months of the fellowship, but throughout, you know, for the next couple of years. And, you know, as I said, people actually get to build organizations from the bold questions. Okay, now to continue. I would actually like to, because I said, so your bold idea or your bold question is actually connected to the tracks along which you're applying to. So you had only shared one about mental health, because she was actually the mental health track in cohort 5. Dr. Fan, you shared something, I think you're in which track? I remember that was life skills and resilience. Probably somewhere there. Yeah, exactly, right. So everyone, you know, you sort of create your bold idea based on the track that you're applying to. And I would like to take the chance to actually share the tracks that we are recruiting for cohort 6, so that you have a clear idea, even as you formulate your bold idea, you know, how that might actually look like. So for cohort 6 of the Metis Fellowship, we are looking for education innovators, and I know there's a lot of how do I put this? Sometimes we don't feel as innovators, right? Maybe you're a teacher in a classroom, maybe you're a school director, and you think innovation is technology or something like that. No, innovation is not. Innovation is there's this quote someone shared a while back. Tracy, Can you share that quote actually? How do you define innovation?
Let me look.
Yes, because I want us to understand that innovation is not necessarily about technology, right? But actually developing solutions that work and solve the problems. It could be something very simple, but it's something very innovative and transformative. So as we get that quote, we are looking for innovators working in these areas. One, gender equity in education, and for this, it's both for boys and girls. It's not only for for girls. Rukia is actually a good example of that, because our work is making sure that girls are are supported to actually be able to read at their levels. So for her, she's bridging the gap that she saw for the girls in our community being able to read at their level, and she developed a solution that solves for that, and she'll get to share more about that. The second one is teacher training and development. And yeah, for this, we are looking for people who are developing solutions to support our teachers. We have Olivia from KICD. We also had someone in cohort 3 who actually developed a model for where teachers get into communities of learning within their localities and get to share with each other and learn from each other. So we are looking for innovators who are developing such solutions and helping our teachers along the way. For both professional and personal development, right? We know, as Olive said, even with the learners, right, you have to take care of, a person holistically, not just one part. So we are looking for people also supporting teachers, even with their own personal development. Then we are looking at ECD and foundational skills. And finally, climate resilience. As we know, not only as a country, but let's say as a globe, right? We are at a moment where, we are really experiencing serious challenges with the climate change. And we feel like education is a very good place to start, because if we can educate, or if we can teach, the young ones, that the youth, the people within the next, 40, 50, 100 years to actually, have a very good understanding of why it's important to conserve the environment and how to actually go about that, either in a school setting or in a community setting, then we'll actually be developing solutions that work and that will ensure that we are preparing the next generation to respond to these challenges of climate problem. And education, as I said, I think it's a great way to actually do that. So those are the 4 tracks along which we are recruiting for cohort 6. I hope you've gained a little bit more clarity. And as you submit your application, so make sure that your bold question is, if you're applying along gender equity in education, structure your bold question along that. If you're applying for climate resilience, structure your bold question along that. Awesome. Now that I've shared that, let's see what next. Yeah, let's actually get to hear now or the answers that each one of you developed for your board question. Because you have a problem, but of course you're not spending the whole time on the problem. You have to go to the next step and develop a solution. So Rukia, I'd like you to go first. Tell us the solution that you developed for your board question.
Thank you, Naftali. So yeah, so sunflower is a solution for the bold idea or question. So I created something we call a pathway to alternative learning and education. And this is basically an after-school program that supports the targeted girls from different schools with a literacy and leadership program. So we have a literacy lab or center where we've partnered actually with, right now we work with 11 schools within the informal settlements. We've signed an MOU, and so the targeted girls who have gone through an assessment and they've actually qualified to get into the program, which means they're actually low performing, and we assess them through vocabulary, comprehension, reading, and writing abilities, and then the ones who perform below average are the ones who get into the program. So they come to the center every day of the weekday from between 4:30 p.m. and 6 p.m. Then on Saturdays, because what we've realized, and Olive also talked about, is sometimes they're not performing because they are stupid, but it's basically they don't have the supporting resources, they don't have that supporting environment. So that is what we've tried to give them at Sunflower. And then we also realized parents are also not very involved. Well, as much as we are talking about quality education, we cannot leave out the parents. So in our program, we also have monthly parental involvement, where now they just come at their own time, because a parent will tell you they're busy. I work from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. So how am I supposed to be involved in my daughter's everyday learning? So they create time every month just to come. We sit, we talk about not only the academic progress of the child, but also the behavioral change, because we're looking at developing leaders in their own spaces. We might not really transform them to be doctors or lawyers, but again, if there are leaders who can speak up and make decisions in their own spaces, so they also need to have that behavioral change. And it has worked really well so far in the 3 years, or 4 years of implementation, because the testimonies that we hear from parents is they've actually seen that change. And academically, the children have really improved. Our pilot class have just sat for their KCP, and we are already looking at, a few being called to national schools. So it means that they were not stupid, but they never had that support. And getting into that environment, just giving them that safe space, talking about their health, reproductive health, introducing them to different programs like IT, arts and culture, for them to be able to express themselves, have really helped them in solving academic issues that they were facing. Now they are more expressive and such. But along the way, we also realized there was a gap, because as everyone says, gender equity is not only about girls. So what are you doing about the boy child? And remember, these are adolescents, and the moment you actually bring them together with boys, then, there's development issues, things like they will shy away. They will never open up, because they're looking at boys as, no, I don't want to get there. But we deliberately, again, worked with the schools now to expand our life skills, just the leadership program, into schools, where now we talk to more boys. We talk to them about challenges that these girls are facing. These issues to do with them getting into those years, already realizing their leadership roles in the community. I am a girl, so I need to take up the chores at home. I need to take care of my siblings. So I don't have time to do homework. It's my responsibility to make food, to go to the market. So we talk to boys about those, and what we've realized is that now they also get to appreciate that the challenges that they've seen the girls are facing, they can also, help them out, and they now appreciate the girls better, even in the classroom. So these are programs that we started last year, and we hope to continue with the students, both in school and the direct beneficiaries who come to the center. And hopefully the change will expand and grow, upscale to other areas. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. So a follow-up question, actually, because I know you also do your monitoring and evaluation. Could you share with us, briefly, what has been the impact of this program a few years down the line?
One of the impact is the improvement in academic performance. As I mentioned earlier, they come in as low performing. Someone is in grade 5, but you tell them to write something, they put letters together to form words that you cannot even read. So transiting from having someone just putting words together and right now actually performing above 350 marks, that is one of the impact that we are talking about. Another one is just the numbers, because we started with 25 girls in our pilot class, but right now we are working with more than 400 boys and girls, just within Kibera area. So for us, that is the change that we want to see, just growing, impacting more, and the most important bit is improving academically. Yeah.
Thank you so much. You're doing a very important work, bridging the gap. I think for foundational skills, mostly this is actually a problem that has persisted, even with the increase to access, to schools. We still have those challenges where learners are not able to read or do math at their levels, and it feels like your amazing work is actually helping bridge that gap for the girls in the program. So thank you so much. Ken?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Solution to the problem that I was seeing, especially in schools, was the establishment of Fun and Education Global Network, which now addressed the issue in terms of how can children, especially within basic education, stand boldly and design prototypes to solve the problems they face. This was conceived through, we know the education system, where most of these learners, whether at home or in school, they're really looking at only solving, when you tell them to solve a problem, they're actually thinking about maybe it's a problem in math or such. But if we're at home, mostly there are, house helps and all that who do that, or mom and dad can solve these other problems. So now, Fun and Education has really rolled forward programs in school, and that's the program known as Design for Change, where they are taken through the like Metis process, which we call feeds, feel, imagine, do, share, which is still riding on design thinking approach. And we've engaged learners. We actually work with several schools that have signed up now as members of Fun and Education Global Network. And we have been able to develop various prototypes that have actually been scaled up as innovations. And also, we've been able to see problems that we were not able to see because actually we were going ahead and seeing impacting or telling these children about problems that we see as problems, other than listening to them to see what really affects them. So that really has had a great impact in terms of empathy, in terms of hands-on, problem-solving process, all the way from identifying the problem and changing the attitudes to I can mindset by actually listing down solutions that can be done to solve the problem, and actually going in, doing where now they actualize their projects and then develop prototypes. And we've also been able to scale it up, in which these learners have been able to present to technocrats, to professionals, to conferences. And that really is impacting in communication and bringing up a child that can, express themselves and also feel that kind of being a superhero, because they have been able to be listened to and they have actually done something. So they know that, yes, we can do something. And apart from that, they have been able also, we've had a group representing Kenya in Malaysia, and we also have a group that has presented Kenya in Dubai. They just came back in January. And that was really, really the fruit of Metis shaping up the idea into reality. And not only that, but we are working with schools in Kenya, and we've spread now to Botswana, Malawi, South Africa, and working also in Ghana. So it has really proven that it's an idea that started as a small idea, but has now spread across the globe that, yes, children can develop prototypes and solutions and the innovation that we are talking about to solve challenges that is a challenge to them. They have identified it as a challenge, other than just going through the education system. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much. And you've shared something which I feel like I have to highlight, which is that after you have your board question, now actually the next step is to go and talk to your end users, right? So for you, Dr. Fan, I'm sure you had to go and talk to parents, you had to go and talk to students and hear which is actually the best way for you to design this program, right? And design it in such a way that it's actually going to be exciting, it's actually going to be relevant for the learners, and not just you as an innovator coming up with a solution and just going and pushing it to them and saying, I've created this for you guys, right? You have to actually design with them, not for them. This felt it's important to emphasize that. Awesome, thank you. Olive?
Yes, I think we are talking about impact.
Solution plus impact.
Maybe.
Yes.
Okay. So I want to talk about, because I've had some earlier achievements, but not in the area of mental health, but I can maybe talk about them just to give a background. Since I came to KICD when it was KIE, my passions were health education and nutrition. And I was able to lobby and advocate with the policymakers then. And one of the achievements I had was I was asked to even contribute to having another, we have now 8 of education. And I was able to highlight to the team, the technical team, that there is no goal that focuses on health. And I was asked, Olive, could you go and write that goal for us? And I brought it to the committee and it was adopted. When now we started reforming the curriculum again, I wanted to champion. I was able through that period to be able to bring Ministry of Health on board. They were reluctant to come into the curriculum, wondering what is their role in curriculum. And I told them, you are the people to tell us what it is that we need to address. Is it you want these students to know in terms of their health? And so we've been working very, very closely. So I was also able to now be able to structure, advocate for the restructuring of the curriculum during the competence-based curriculum reform. And so I got even a learning area called hygiene and nutrition. And we progressively now put health education all across board up to teacher training. So we have health education in primary. As now I came on board with the fellowship, that's when now the mental health became a real concern for me. And of course, I was able to refine what I was thinking about in terms of mental health, that apart from the physical health, I think mental health issues, you can't see all them on the face many times. You can only see them maybe in behavior, and some teachers are not able to even tell what behavior to expect with children who are not well mentally. So during this fellowship, I was able now to think more about that mental health education. And I can say we've made some good mileage. I was able to talk with the team from the Ministry of Health, who we brought on board to help us, because now health education became more broader in junior school and senior school. So now we have health education in junior school, and we are able to factor a lot of mental health education. So you see, during the fellowship now, I realized that we had some gaps, that we were talking of health education, but we were not thinking in terms of the mental well-being. So we talked with the team. Actually, I'm the one who was supervising the team, and I was able to tell them, please help us design a curriculum on mental health education that will help these children in junior schools. And most of the adolescents are the ones with mental health issues. I know the mental health issues are there even below, but more in our adolescents because of peer pressure, because of other things. So we were able to do that. And now we have mental health education in the curriculum. We haven't completed the process. We are going into senior school. And luckily, I've followed up that process with the panels that are doing. I'm able to see the last designs to be able to see that they have factored that. I think our impact will realize now when this is taught in schools, and then we are able to go out there and research and find out whether there is any impact. For now, we have it in the curriculum, which is quite an achievement because we are thinking about it, but we'll still, some years down the line, want to know whatever we have given in them in that curriculum, is it really helping or we are not doing anything? So our impact is progressive. It's not going to be a one-off impact that we can talk of this year we achieved this. We'll see by what we produce, the type of learners we produce after senior school. We also have mental health in the teacher education curriculum. We made sure we factored that in. So that's what we have been able to achieve. And because we are able to talk about it very well with the relevant stakeholders, we haven't gotten any people object or saying this is not relevant. In fact, many people now have realized it was a gap. And I think that's the impact. And I think it should be long-term. So we'll want to follow up and see whether it's actually impacting the learners. It's not just in the curriculum, it is impacting the learners.
That is beautiful. That's a huge achievement, because I know in government things can move slowly a little bit sometimes, but already having that incorporated and part of the curriculum, that means then it's going to be taught in schools, and as you said, the evaluation of the impact will be progressive, and you'll be able to monitor over time and see how that's.
Maybe I could say it takes a lot of passion and takes a lot of energy to be able to convince stakeholders in the education sector on certain issues. They keep asking you, why must this? Why must they learn this and not this? You see, so you really have to be passionate, to be strong enough. You have to know what it is you're talking about. Want to be convinced that it is relevant. So it's actually a lot of work, but it is good work when we achieve what we want, and we, of course, later will see the impact. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. That's so beautiful. That's actually awesome. To imagine that millions of learners will be able to access that, because you're passionate and you push for it and you make sure it happens. So thank you so much. I think we'll now get to the Q&A part, so that we can give our participants a chance to ask questions. Julie and Rebecca might chat. I don't know whether we have any questions on the chat, but as we look through the chat, please do feel free to come off mute and ask your question about the fellowship, about the application process, and also about the experience, the fellowship experience.
Can I ask?
Yeah, sure.
Well, I was traveling with network wherever I am. I'm from Embu. My name is Dr. Mandarin Kingendo. I'm a lecturer, an educational psychologist, and a special needs educator on the area of emotional and behavior disorders. I'm happy Olive has shared my aspirations to this national trend of making our children be who they are supposed to be. The issue of mental health is quite, frantic, especially these days. And more to a question, I just want to share a bit because I'm new to this. Somebody introduced me, and I'm happy to be in this and to be associated. Well, I just wanted to ask Olive also, is there anything happening? Because we know as Africans, now we are trying to take the curriculum to our roots, back to our roots, and to reach to that child who is in the village is equal to a child who is in the, urban area. Because I'm in the village actually, and during this period of COVID, not many children could access actually the online learning that was offered and so forth. You understand our Kenyan. So it's a proposal and a question. We know that when I was in school in class 1, class 2, because I am identifying myself with the CBC curriculum, are we trying to, to do something about our language in that sense, in the curriculum, for inclusivity, for inclusion purpose. Language, I mean language, culture, and our identity. So to say like now, use of proverbs in teaching the wisdom to our children, because I am teaching at the university. Personally, I have developed, I think I've reached to 50 proverbs that we are trying to juggle around with some Canadians because they wanted something African, so that they can educate the Black people in Canada and America to include this in their curriculum, because they are coming back to their roots. So I'm asking Olive, is there anything like that going on? Because soon I'll be bringing my book for sale at your place, because we are trying to see how these proverbs can be applied to the CBC and knowledge. For instance, when we talk of nurturing, there is a proverb, and that was African wisdom that educated a whole generation on how to mold the early childhood education for better, for better future men and women of this country. Because now, like where I sit here in Embu,
allow me to cut you a little bit short.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the time. Please, could you ask your question?
My question was on that, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Olive, do you have something to say about that?
Okay, yes. I think if you know, I'm one of the architects of CBC, and I can tell you when we designed it, we, of course, there are people opposing it because they don't understand it. If they would be very happy. We have something we call literacy. In primary. Grade 1 all the way to up to grade 6. I mean, literacy is supposed to be taught in mother tongue, and that's where they learn the sayings, the wise sayings in their vernacular. They are supposed to talk about the proverb, and that's why CBC is focusing more not on the mark, but on allowing these children to learn in an experiential way, so that if we are going to teach our language through using proverbs, then that is it. They have the time to do that without worrying. Somebody will ask me a question on a wise saying and I'll get 90%. So that's why CBC. So those things that you're talking about are actually in the CBC curriculum. These children are allowed to choose even one of a foreign language, and I think there's a lot of wealth even from other languages apart from our own mother tongue. So all those things are in that CBC, and I think we can discuss that one-on-one, so that I can explain it even more because of the time, and after he wants people to. Yeah, thank you.
Awesome, thank you. And just to emphasize on that, we have a track on ECD and traditional skills. So if you're thinking of developing something actually that uses African proverbs, to teach reading, and I think that would be an awesome solution actually to develop, and then you can apply it at the ECD and traditional skills track. Looking through the chat, if there's anyone else with that question, please come off mute and ask your question, and let's limit our questions to the fellowship, the application process, or the fellowship experience.
Maybe I can answer one that I'm seeing about funding and expanding programs.
Yes.
Have we been able to access funding to expand the programs? I would say yes, because for example, now when I started thinking about mental health education, Ministry of Health does not maybe have a budget for mental health education. So what you need to do is lobby with the Ministry of Health. And I think the Ministry of Health has been trying to access for us to be able to do that curriculum. And so that's why we are able to do a better curriculum. So we are able to access, not even at a personal level, at the program level, we are able to partner with other people and they are able to facilitate the work that we are doing.
Awesome. Samuel Munyu, Samuel, I see you raised your hand. Can you come off mute and ask your question?
Sorry, is it possible, because maybe also the person who asked the question about does the program support other community projects? Maybe the question might be, is Metis giving support to other community programs or projects besides training or besides engaging the questions that the fellows have?
Would you actually like to answer that?
Yeah, what I would say is Metis gives you the ground actually to engage with various partners and players in the various fields, be it to shape your idea within the community or to get partnership, because I think I attained lots of partnership during the Metis program or the mentors. Because when we look at your question, your bold question, then what Metis is doing is giving you a platform at which you can meet the various players in that field or various partners that can come on board and help you answer your question by addressing the community issue or whatever the question be.
Thank you, Dr. Fan.
If I can add.
Yes.
Metis might not give you that funding at hand, but I think the rich network is something that we actually he's asking if he can't unmute. Maybe
that's
he wants to explain.
Rose, do you?
Maybe he can go first.
Are you able to help us unmute Samuel? But as we do that, you can keep adding on as you troubleshoot that.
Yeah, as I was saying, like Metis has a very rich network. Like the three of us is just a very small fraction of the network that we are talking about. We have the community of practice where we are all coming together to solve that one problem, coming from different fields. We have Oli from KICD, we have Dr. Fan here who has very innovative science projects. It's a very rich network of which we might not necessarily tell you this is the funder, but coming together is already it's a resource. So how are you actually leveraging into the different expertise and the different people who are within this network to go to the next level? We have people who have actually come together and fundraised together. We've done that and we've gotten funding. So last week we were actually sitting in a room and we were like, seven of us, just to realize we were all Metis alumni and talking about the same thing, and one thing has brought us together. That is the solution that we are looking for. So this is a very rich network of which you will definitely benefit and take you to the next level. Not necessarily hand you a check right and there, but you will definitely get ways of getting that check. Thank you.
Yeah, and just to add on to that, right? Remember, fundraising it's very nuanced, and I think like most of you also speak from experience. It's not just about going and asking for the money. It involves monitoring and evaluation. It involves storytelling. Are you able to communicate the challenge that you're experiencing? Are you able to share the solution that you're experiencing? And through the fellowship, you are able to actually share in a very safe community, get feedback and support that you need, not only from external mentors, but also from other leaders within the cohort, right? Because we have a world of experience, within the fellowship, and that's the biggest asset that we have for us. So, as Rukia said, we might not write you a check, but you'll definitely have access to a community where you can learn everything that you need to go and get that check to support your program. Yes, Rebecca is saying something. Okay, yeah. I don't know whether there's someone else with a question. If not, I'll go to the questions that I'd received earlier. I really wanted to give you a chance.
Sorry, how do I become a fellow?
Good question. So we are currently actually receiving applications.
Yes.
For the Metis Fellowship. Julie, can you kindly drop the link to become a fellow website here, and should be able to go through that. And as I shared earlier, we are looking for innovators along the 4 tracks that I shared. So gender equity, climate resilience, ECD and foundational skills, teacher training and development. So to touch actually for you what you shared. So if you're developing a solution to teach or to use the African proverbs to teach literacy, maybe in the lower grades and early education. So that's something you could actually come and work through the Metis Fellowship. The links are coming through. Yeah, to learn more and get a sense.
And for how long after application it takes, and the program itself?
So the program, it's a 6-month program. So the application right now we opened the application the 1st of March. They're running through the 2nd of April. So you have to submit your applications before the 2nd of April. We'll notify you whether you've been selected. So we usually have 2 stages of selection. The first one, we'll go through the application, and our very capable judges will be able to let you know, or once they have gone through your application and you qualify for the next round, we'll invite you for the finalist day, which is a virtual session where you'll do one-on-one, and group interviews. After that, those who will have successfully gone through that, will you be notified whether you've qualified to be a Cohort 6 fellow or not. Those who will have qualified to be Cohort 6 fellows will go through the onboarding process for the month of May, and then in June, from 9th to 11th, we'll meet together at a location near Nairobi, within the Nairobi metro area, for the amazing retreat that you had Oliver and Kenneth speak about. So once the retreat happens, that's what marks the start of the fellowship, and it will run from June all the way to November, with an in-person graduation in December. So there are only 2 components of this fellowship that will be in person. That is the retreat and the graduation. Everything else in between will happen virtually. The site visits that Rukia had mentioned, so she was in Cohort 2, so that was before COVID and everything used to happen in person. We've had to reimagine a lot of that now, and what we do now is virtual site visits, where we go and visit that amazing innovation that we want you to see, and then give that to you to watch. And also invite now those particular innovators for the monthly sessions that we usually do virtually to come and share more if we need to. But also we have small affinity groups. So if you're in the gender equity track, the 10 of you or the 15 of you that might be in that particular track can decide, for this month, we would like to visit Rukia. And we love what she's doing at Sunflower, and we want to go and learn more from her. So you can actually organize that and go and visit.
Thank you so much. And I agree, it's really competitive because I've applied three times. The first cohort, second, third, and I've never been taken. So this time I don't know how to do it right. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So yes, please do not give up. Do apply. Make sure when you're setting your application, you fit into one of the tracks, because that's a core thing for you to be able to get the support that you need. As I said, a lot of knowledge comes from other fellows. They have experience in different areas, and they're able to support you best when you are in a group. Also, please give thought to the questions that you are submitting, especially the sort of the SE format questions. So think through, reflect, and make sure you submit, put your best foot forward. That's what I would say. Put your best foot forward, and I'm sure. Yeah. So Rebecca is saying, yeah, a common pitfall is rushing through the application process. So really give it thought. Take your time to think through the answers that you're providing, and yeah, I'm sure. This if you do that, this might be your year. Yeah. But thank you for your persistence.
Yes.
Thank you. Dr. Fan, you wanted to add something?
They don't give up. Some people apply even 5 times or more times. Just try to look at the way he said, how you answer the questions. And definitely, I believe that, I wish you all the best. So do you?
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Lillian.
Yes.
Any other question? Lucia, are you able to come off mute? I see.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
oh yeah. Yes. Oh, perfect. Yeah, my name is Aloysia, as you see in the chat. My question is directed to Madam Olive. My concern on the issue of counseling and life skills comes from the background that I'm a teacher of social sciences. I've taught social education and ethics long ago. And I think after this was removed from the curriculum, although it wasn't examinable, we have had a lot of challenges in the society. So I would kindly request Madam Olive to let us know whether the mainstreaming of life skills is part of the objective that she has on mental health, so that we can see whether this is something that needs to be developed to policy level. Because once this social education and ethics was removed from the education system, I believe you support me to say that we have a sick society. There is so much that is not working right, and we need to arrest it for us to be able to move on. So thank you very much.
Olive, I don't know whether you have something to say. I actually do have something to say. But
yeah, you know, I was talking of those old times where skills was standalone subject. There are many things that we say now cannot stand alone. They are integrated. So what you'll find in the curriculum is that life skills is integrated within the various, the various subjects. And of course, in high school, I think there will be a very big component, especially in senior school, of life skills. Okay, and it will be like core, across board. But in lower levels, I think it's being integrated. So you'll not see it as that alone, but wherever, even in that mental health, there'll be issues of life skills. In reproductive health, there'll be issues of life skills. So it just came away alone subjects to be integrated within the various subjects.
Okay, thank you. I get you.
Thank you, Olive. And just to add on also, please, as an innovator, remember, we are all here because we can't wait for the government to do everything. And as Olive actually shared earlier, she got to meet other amazing people who are doing amazing, stuff on their own. And whatever government does then can be an add-on on what you're actually innovating and doing, right? Because you can develop a solution that is very impactful within your community, and everyone else can come and learn from you and be able to create, a similar solution and contextualize it for their community. So yeah, we don't have to wait for everything to be at the policy level, because we're innovators, right? We're education innovators. So you can actually go out and create a solution that addresses the problem that you see. Because one of our motto here is actually we want to be biased to one's action, right? Do something. You see a problem, do something about it.
Thank you, Naftali. You've just answered it very well. I think what we come up with the solutions to the problems we see. Whether at a small level, and then we can scale it up, because actually, like you say, everything even can't be in the curriculum, everything can't be within the ministry. We just have to be innovative enough, and we can scale up our programs.
Awesome, thank you. I see there was a question on the chat about cost of the program. So thank you, Julie, for providing that link. But just to add on that, because I know I'm just looking through the questions that were submitted, and that was one of the key questions that people had. So the total cost of the fellowship program is 300,000 Kenyan shillings. However, we do get a lot of support, general support from our donor partners, and we are able to provide general scholarships to our fellows. Part of the application, so when you go through the application at the very end of the last section, you have a chance to actually submit your application for the scholarship. So make sure you do that, and we'll be able to give you all the due consideration if you're admitted to the fellowship. And because for us, the goal is to make sure that no one misses a chance to go this program because of the financial constraints. So what we can assure you is that submit your best and strongest application. Make sure you answer all the questions well. Submit your scholarship application, and if given a place in the fellowship, we'll do everything to support you and make sure that you actually are able to go through the program. Okay, any other questions here? Or can I go through some of the answers? Priority to yeah, so I see there was a lot of. Okay, so I see there was a question on the response. Like how long after you submit your application, how long is it going to take you to know whether you've gotten a place? So as I said, we are closing the applications on the 9th. Oh, sorry, not the 9th, sorry, on the 2nd of April. We'll let you know whether you've been selected for the first step, right? So whether you've been invited for the interviews, that's virtual, one-on-one, and group interviews. We'll let you know by the 19th of April. So by 19th of April, end of day, you should have an email letting you know the status of your application. If you're invited for the next step of the interview, that is going to happen on the 30th of April. So it's on a Saturday. We'll spend 4 hours on a Zoom call. We'll be able to go through the, you'll be able to meet, other innovators, get to network. It's not just an interview, actually. That's why we do it as a group. Otherwise, we'd have just done one-on-one and just let it go. So it's also a chance for you to actually network and get to hear the amazing work that other innovators from across Kenya are doing. And as part of that, also, you get to do some interviews here and there. After that, we will notify you on whether you've been offered a place in the fellowship. After the 30th, that is the 30th of April, the finalist day, we'll notify you by 4th. By 4th, you will know whether you've been offered a place in the fellowship. And as part of that communication, you'll also know the scholarship that you've been awarded. Okay, so that comes with everything that you need to know: the key dates, your scholarship, award, and your admission into the fellowship. So those are the key dates that you need to keep in mind. So as you apply, please make sure that you're able to set aside 30th of April as a date that you will be attending your interviews. So make sure you have a room to be able to do that. Yeah. I think that's another question I wanted to tackle. Please, maybe I can see everyone, but Rose, let me know if there's anyone who has raised their hand, and then we'll give them a chance to ask a question. See, looking through the questions that I've gotten. So someone had asked, I said they want to learn more about the fellowship. I feel like we've covered that pretty much. We've done the experience, you've been able to hear the fellowship experience, the dates, the tracks along which you're recruiting. But if you're on this call and if you have a follow-up question on that, please do feel free to ask. And yes, there was a question on whether we give certificates at the end. Olive, do we give certificates at the end of the program?
Beautiful ones.
Yes.
Beautiful
yes.
ones.
Very true, very true. They're very beautiful. I'm sure you have a photo somewhere. Each one of your of your certificates. Okay. Any question? Any question from anyone else here? Please don't leave this call with any question. I would love you to leave here and just go, submit that application. That's what we'd love for you to do. Yes, after this. So don't leave this call with any question, any pressing issue, just bring it to us. If you have had any, challenges going through the application process with the application form, please let us know, and we'll be able to troubleshoot and support you through that. So I see there was a question on, let's see, what benefit does Metis community add to improving your initiative? So this is actually a good place to share like what the fellowship gives you, apart from, this amazing community is one of the things that you get. But we usually say there are 4 components of the fellowship, the main things that you get by being a Metis fellow. One is a design curriculum, and when Dr. Fan shared that, you actually get to talk to your end users and solve for the root causes and not just the symptoms, right? Because oftentimes if you don't actually involve your end users in the design process, then you'll end up solving for the wrong problem. So one of the ways we mitigate for that is making sure that we have a design thinking curriculum that we go through, and actually every month you have a step to go through, right? So you'll have to go and interview the people that you're designing for. So if it's teachers and students, you'll have to do that. If it's a community-based program and you work with parents and youth, you'll actually have to go and do that, right? So you go through the entire process and make sure that at the very end, the solution that you develop is user-centered. It actually solves for the root causes. So that's one of the ways that we support youth through your innovation. And it doesn't necessarily have to be something new that you're starting. We've had someone come here with a certain program within the organization, and then after going through the program, they are like, okay, actually I need to reevaluate this and make sure that all these blind spots that I had, I didn't talk to my end users about this. I need to go and do that to make sure that I improve this program, right? So that's one of the things that you get. The other one is communities of learning. So when you had you get to share. The first one is of course the retreat, where you're with everyone, and you get to share your experiences. You get to share sort of your journey as a leader, as an innovator, and that continues for every month, where you get a chance to share your progress and also to share your challenges and get the support that you need. Then Bukia and Dr. Fat spoke of mentorship. So that's something else you're going to get. We have an amazing collection of mentors from our alumni all the way to other people support Metis work across the globe. So you'll have a chance to connect with some amazing people, and they'll help you through your innovation journey. And lastly, we have created connections to sources of capital and talent. So as Rukia said, sometimes, as we of course we can't tell that. I usually say we can't tell the story of Metis without telling the story of our fellows, right? So we highlight that and make sure that every opportunity that we get, we're also extending them to our fellows, right? And some have gotten funding through this, some have gotten opportunities to travel and share more about their work, which of course has led to more doors being open. So those are the 4 things that you get from the fellowship. I don't know if any of my co-hosts here would like to add anything.
Oh yeah, Naftali, and a lot of competencies. You get to be able to present your ICT skills they go up. So there are many things that apart from the 4 you have mentioned.
Thank you, Olive.
And if I can add, it doesn't end at the fellowship program, but you get into the Metis family. I was in cohort 2, but I still interact with someone who recently graduated from cohort 5. So, that is like a ticket to interact with people whom you probably need to book appointments to get to them. But here we are with Olive, just talking. So it goes beyond the fellowship. You just get into that Metis family.
Amazing. Thank you actually for adding that. So we have a community of 92 strong. People have gone through the fellowship program, and we usually say graduation actually marks sort of, it's a transition, right? It's not the end. It's not like the graduation you're used to. I know from our context, when you graduate, it's done, that chapter was no. For us, graduation means transitioning now to the next phase, and you'll have this lifelong community of support, and it will be there for you as you work through that particular solution and even other solutions that will come up with in future. Dr. Fad, you wanted to add something?
What you've said is absolute. Actually, you've mentioned all cutting across. So this is a pathway that you're not going to walk alone. The way my colleagues have said, joining means we are family. That's a very key thing for the success. And of course, I've seen another question of what Metis is really looking at. Metis is, the way I'm saying it's a family. So a family of mentors, a family of advisors, and a family that can also connect you to other organizations, be it funding, be it to how to pitch even for the various funding and all that. So I think what I'm looking at is, what Metis is looking at is change makers. These people who have ideas and they want to really put it within the pathway to success. And maybe it's a business, maybe it's a program, maybe it's a solution that you are trying to juggle around on how to develop products or to come up with innovative ways to solving issues. So that's who we are. We have all come together with various solutions, but not knowing how to shape them into products. So that is where Metis really comes in to help you arrive to your destination. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Dr. Fang, for that. And now, as we get towards the end, I would like to highlight the 4 things that we actually look for when evaluating your application, because I know all of you are going to hit that submit button after this. So these are the 4 things we're actually looking for. 1 is a growth mindset. Okay. As you can see here, we have people of all age groups, and we are all open to learning, right? I think the last cohort we actually had someone, the youngest person who was like 21, and and then we have Olive here. He said she was the oldest, but of course after the retreat she felt she wasn't any older than everyone else. So we are open to learning, regardless of your level of education, regardless of your your job title. We are all open to learning. That's a common denominator. We are very happy. We are very happy community, and we know none of us has all the answers. So we want to listen and learn from each other. So please make sure you demonstrate your growth mindset through your application, and that will come in handy because it's one of the core things that we look for. The other one is leadership. We want to see your commitment and passion for high quality education for all. And this can mean a lot of things, right? So it could be something that you've done with 10 people, with 100 people in your community setting. So don't discount your achievement, don't discount your leadership. Make sure that you make it shine, right? We want to hear you, so we want to see the holistic you. So don't discount your leadership. Make sure that you actually shine a light on it. The third thing that we look for is innovation. As I said, everyone has to have a bold idea. Everyone has to have either a solution or an idea that they feel that Metis can actually help them bring to life or scale or grow its impact. Okay, so we need you to come with something that we can actually help you work through, and that's why we have these tracks and we ask everyone to state their bold idea, the problem they're solving, and the solution, so that when you come on board, we actually have a place to start and know how to best help you and make sure that that solution comes to life. And lastly, collaboration. I think I don't even need to mention this. Everyone has actually emphasized that. And it's not something, we didn't have a sitting and decide, there's something we want to highlight. They're all speaking from experience, and, they're sharing genuinely what, they have experienced and how supportive the community has been, right? So even as you apply, be sure to demonstrate, how you collaborated, across your work, show how you're able to listen, learn, and support the work of others within the community. And those are actually the 4 things we look for when evaluating your application. It's not super complicated, right? Just for this, demonstrate them through your application, and I'm sure you'll be successful, or your application will be successful. Yes, I think that's it from me. If there are no more questions, yes, thank you, Rebecca. I see you shared the link to the website and how to become a Metis Fellow. Yeah, I'll ask my co-host now to share a parting shot, and someone from the audience, if someone would like to volunteer to also share a parting shot. Would like to go first, Dr. Fan.
Yes, sorry. Someone was calling on me and I didn't understand the question. Sorry.
Oh, no, I'm saying like the parting shot. What
Okay.
are you telling our attendees as it was? I think someone is calling again.
No. Are you getting me? Sorry.
Yes, now we can hear you.
Yeah, what I was saying is I thought we were continuing for another 2 hours, but I'm really delighted. And what I would say is as you join Metis, remember, Metis is not just going to get you through the pipe and get you and pull you and you come out with success. It takes your dedication. So you have to be, it's just like in molding, you know, the clay has to be ready to be molded and all that. So you have to have listening skills, you have to share out, open up, and you have to really be able to utilize the networks, have dedicated, because there of course, there are assignments and all that you need to do. So, and indeed, if you have a bold question, then you are such a bold person to come and boldly answer the question, utilizing the network and the enriched community that you're going to be exposed to. Otherwise, feel free to apply, consider really, applying and dedication in applying, and you'll make it, and we'll really be happy to meet you and also work together with you. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you, Dr. Fan. Rukia?
Yes. So as it is, I mean, no one is really reinventing anything. You know, we are coming up with ideas and people have implemented or just customized what we probably are going through because we are coming up with different solutions. So, I mean, if Metis is, I will repeat that again and again, it's a very rich network. It has a database of, you know, all the educators, and educators are not only teachers who actually stand in front of a classroom, but these are people who are doing, implementing different interventions to improve the quality of education. Today, we are looking at teacher training, we are looking at gender equality, we are looking at ECD. Those are all different levels of education. So come in with an open mind, be ready to learn, be ready to share, and trust me, we will together take the education issues very far. You know, no one walks alone. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Rukia. Olive, over to you.
Oh, it's me. Okay, I'm encouraging everyone to apply and to encourage even others to apply. I think you can also invite others now that you have heard what we have said. Welcome to this great family. It's a nice family. You'll get all the support. I can tell you, you'll be amazed at the kind of support that you'll get until you get through the fellowship, and you still be supported even after the fellowship is over. So karibu sana, and encourage others to come on board because we want people to innovate and change learning in this country. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Olive. I don't know whether we have someone from the audience who would like to share a parting shot or. Okay, no one? Okay, awesome. Okay.
Okay, awesome. Okay. I can share. I just want to appreciate this platform. It's quite insightful to be here. And I hope we'll be able to sail through and see one another as leaders who have impacted in the society. It's quite a sacrifice. Most of us are busy elsewhere. We stand to be counted. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alicia. I think I'm pronouncing your name right. Thank you, everyone, for being on this call. As Oliver said, now you've heard. Please go invite others also that you feel would be a good fit, and they would love to join our amazing community to apply and become part of the Metis family. That's all from us. Thank you so much for joining us this evening, and may you all have a good evening and a good night.